Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm just doing a video before I do some type of workout today, which I'm not sure I'm going to do. What I'm going to do. I almost actually drove to another county to work out at their gym, even though it's Christmas Eve. I don't like the mask mandate in this county, so it's just, especially at the gym. But I haven't really been to the gym in this county in many months, so I could maybe try to see if people are even complying to that. If they're not, I've heard from others that people aren't complying at the gym, so I may have to check it out. Plus, obviously, what's going on right now is the total dissolution of the narratives that were being pushed before. And like I predicted in my video months back, this is going to be crazy the next few months, and I was right. And I'm glad. But anyways, just wanted to tell a story today about the fact that I was banned from Twitter for 10 hours yesterday, or 12 hours. And the reason was because there's still people pushing this narrative that they seemingly half wish unvaccinated people to die. Like, wish that we'd be on a ventilator. Now, first of all, the ventilator is not really the preferred treatment course for people with the CV at all at this point, as far as I know. There was that early whistleblower from New York that his video went viral last, like, April, or was it March or April of last year? April of last year, where he was saying that this is not the right course for the CV. And at least at that point, like, people were just being thrown on him like it was nothing. So when these bourgeois leftists, I'll just call them bourgeois leftists or fake leftists or whatever, push this narrative, you're dying a ventilator, you're dying a ventilator, then they're kind of doing an antiquated move on that point. So the discussion that happened was that I responded to this guy. He was like doing some of that kind of stuff, like some of this like half wishing. This is why I stopped subscribing to Young Turks last year, is because they were doing tons of videos like this, like where they MAGA hat wearing guy dies of the CV and was against masks or whatever. You know, they would do all these videos about these people dying, and it almost became almost celebratory in my opinion. So when I see people still pushing this narrative, and it's not to say that the narrative doesn't have a partial truth to it. You know, I do know that people's, certain risk groups, especially, their outcomes are worse if they do not have this jabba dabba do, as I code it. However, at the same time, when you're pushing this like, oh my God, you're gonna die, I hope you die in a ventilator kind of crap, I have to respond, because it's just such a histrionic way of excuse me. I probably have the Galvatron variant, so that's why I'm clearing my throat. Anyways. And by the way, I made a mistake in my last video. There's no con in cron. I was like, I don't know what I was on like 3 hours sleep when I did that video. So, but I mean, it sounds like a Decepticon because it's con or cron. There's it never, in the Transformers, there was never, I don't think there was any kind of Autobot that was named with Con or a Kron. I think there was a Kron or some damn, I have to check out. I'm a big Transformers fan, as you probably know, but I don't have all the names in my head all the time, like, of all the classic characters and stuff. I mean, other than the classic, like, first 2 season characters, but I'm pretty sure there was a Kron, some type of something Kron. So anyways, that's off the subject. So this guy in Twitter says something like this, and it's such a response to someone's rational, like, questioning of, like, mandates or something, or one of these, mandates or closures or something like that. Just the insanity that's occurring right now. And I'm just like, I say, well, I hope you die. Stop celebrating people's deaths. I hope you die choking on a soy popsicle. So I was banned for 12 hours from Twitter, and I've never been banned from Twitter. I've been banned. I mean, not banned, but given a timeout from Twitter, or timeout from Facebook. I've gotten timeouts from Facebook and YouTube, obviously. So the narrative is failing because at least part of the narrative is failing. That part of the narrative is the bothersome, noisome kind of part of the narrative that I want defeated, because this is the narrative that's causing all these issues. It's not the narrative that the VAXX is preventing deaths or anything like that. I mean, look at the countries that have high populations that have had that thing, and at least up until a certain point, and I'd have to check more recently, a lot of those countries have had lesser death rates. It's just a fact. You look at the numbers. That said, hoisting this on a population in perpetuity, these ideas of mandates and all these closures and lockdowns and stuff, especially in the face of this lesser variant, it's just insane. It's irrational and buys into the conspiracy theories about the Davos set and the globalists, and all this, eat the bugs, live in a pod kind of thing, and scan your phone to go anywhere, and digital dictatorship kind of memes, or Pfizer, what is it called? The Pfizer punch card kind of stuff, or punch card doesn't mean, or stamp card. You have your 50 boosters to be able to get a free TV or whatever, and these narratives all these memes and narratives that are going around, and all these ideas. Some very intelligent people that are pushing these various ideas. So anybody that wants to debunk those ideas, I want them to feel free to do so. I think we should have debate over these things. If there is a narrative being pushed by ostensibly some portions of the left and some of the right wing about some type of upcoming conspiratorial thing that this is basically about from the beginning. I mean, obviously my truther spidey sense went off when I heard about the new normal thing being pushed, as you can watch on my March 28th video. Even though I don't really articulate it in the way that I should have at that point, I basically was like, what the hell is this? Not even at first I didn't even believe the thing existed. I'll be honest. I know I feel bad about that now. At first, like in early, like March, and it's not like I didn't believe it existed. I thought they were renaming things, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of messed up. So, and they are. I mean, it's hard to explain to what I really believed. And then my former roommate was very. Let's just say he was very mad about my diving into the into the red pill thing at the time, and he's going to all these. I believe that a lot of the stuff he goes to is pass only, whereas I'm the opposite. I'm like, if there's not a passport required, I will go to it. Otherwise, I will not. Testing required, maybe. I could make allowance for that in the future, because I've always been protest. I've always been against because the thing about the test thing is it makes us all equal. If we're having to get tested to go to do something, and I don't believe that this should be a permanent thing, obviously, but I really do believe that testing thing makes more sense in a certain way, despite some of the efficacy being questioned, some of the questions about efficacy. I mean, now it's all out the window because of the Decepticon variant, but Decepticon Gestalt variant, because it sounds like a Gestalt, which is, to further explain the Gestalts, it's like multiple transformers that turn into one transformer. So it's like you have 5 Decepticons, like one turns into a truck, one turns into a tank, and one turns into like a base or something, and then 2 turn into cars or whatever, and that base is like the body, and then you have the head that pops out, or you have to the parts, what they call parts formers, which kind of suck, but parts formers are where, why am I giving this like transformer, like this lecture on Transformers culture, but I don't know, but it's they used to have like ones that had different parts that you had to put on there, and like that's kind of lame to a lot of longtime fans. Like when a new Transformer comes out, they're like, it's a parts former, fuck that, that's what they're saying. That's pretty funny. But anyways, the new variant is definitely a transformer of the Gestalt slash Decepticon variety, of course. But so yeah, but it's like infecting people that have had the Wi-Fi boost even too. So that's it's really funny to see the comeuppance of a lot of people that were zero CV people, the zero CV crowd. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I got it. I did everything. Like Jim, what's his name? Like the stock guy, Jim Cramer, like freaking out over it. Like he tested positive. It's like, what are they doing? They don't know what they're doing. He went on a rant, even though he's talking about concentration camps a couple of weeks ago. About for people that have not had the jab, so it's kind of hilarious how these narratives always go around. Astrologically, it's I would recommend listening to Gordon White's Rune Soup, the latest episode that talks about 2022. A lot of stuff is already happening that they predicted, I think. So anyways, back to this Twitter ban. I don't believe anybody has the right to tell a person they should die or have this feigned concern over their death over this whole thing, because it's such a virtue signal, and it's such a way of like asserting your ideological dominance over other people. And I'm doing that with this video, of course. I'm a hypocrite, but it's such a terrible thing. This is why hesitancy is so high, is because these people are these sheltered, affluent, usually white people, usually younger, male or female, it doesn't matter, or one of the other genders. Actually that isn't really that common. It's usually a cis white affluent male or female in their fucking luxury apartment going on Twitter, saying that they wish people would be thrown in camps if they don't get the jab, or they should be outcast from society, or not get given medical treatments, or all these things, just totally going against like any kind of like actual pre-2020 public health like idea, other than some of the mandatory things that have been in the past, which some of them are state, just like the Supreme Court. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but anyways, so I will resist and push back against that, because I do not believe that is the way to get out of this. It's not, this is one of my major problems with the whole thing. These hoity-toity people from their luxury apartment, they're upper class, upper middle class, usually upper class, but they're journalists or whatever. Like Matt Taibbi says in Hate Incorporated, a lot of the journalists nowadays didn't grow up. Like my father was a journalist, okay, more on the working class side, right? Working a lower middle class, working class, whatever. And the new journalists that are coming out I just doxed myself. I guess I did, but anyways, the new journalists that are coming out are more privileged, kind of these elite universities and stuff like that. So they can type from their laptop in their nice, $5,000 apartment in Manhattan or whatever. Order their food, on some of those food service apps, and say everybody should wear 5 masks and get 5 jabs a month. Or I'm exaggerating, but it's just like, if you don't, you're gonna die, and you should die in a ventilator. So anytime anybody is of that ilk, it is my gut reaction to react in a violent way. Not violent in real life, but violent, in a ideologically internet only way. I didn't threaten the guy. I just said, I hope if you're going to be like that, I hope you die choking on a soy popsicle. I mean, I think it's hilarious. It was a joke. It's not a threat to say I hope someone dies. That's what this censorship is kind of dumb. It's like if you hope someone dies, it's not the same as threatening them with death. That said, that's hypocritical because a lot of the people talking about the virus are like, I hope you die in a ventilator. So, but I'm just kind of mirroring that back at them, So the discourse is so toxic at this point. But this new Decepticon is the Decepticons have created a new warrior in their fight against the Autobots that gives you the sniffles, featuring a lot of the same robots, but new robots that make it more like the common cold. I don't know. I was trying to be like what's his name? Not Vince DiCola. What's it? Caroli. I think it's Vince Caroli, the guy that did the announcements and the commercials for the Transformers back in the day. I always wanted to get a voice to do that for like some of my ventures, like do a commercial. He used to be in a lot of other commercials too, but like if you watch the old commercials on YouTube for Transformers, that's the guy. But anyways, I'm getting off a tangent here, so that's about all.